Super excited, guys. We are up at St. Augustine. We're at the St. Augustine Gator Farm. These guys have every species of crocodilian at this facility. So we're going to be meeting up with John, the curator here, and we're going to go around and just tour this place. It's going to be absolutely epic. Been here once before, and by the way, there is a lighthouse that is the most haunted lighthouse in the country.
I can't believe.
And we're going to go visit that after. But first, we're going to see a bunch of cool animals. Let's go inside and check it out. So I'm here with John, of course, the director here at the Alligator Farm. And so how long have you guys been here, actually?
Well, I haven't been here the whole time.
Right.
It's been here 128 years.
128, yeah, you're a little too young for that. 128 years.
I've been here for 22 of those years.
22 years,
yeah.
Oh my God. So we are actually here with Maximo. He's about a 15.5-foot saltwater crocodile, absolutely amazing. And guess what? I get a chance to feed him, which is really cool. So we're gonna try to line him up first, just so that he is actually going to be parallel with the dock itself. He already knows that something is going on here, and you can see he's starting to turn. He understands. Here he comes. You can see him coming now. One of the things that's amazing about saltwater crocodiles is that they can leap so high out of the water. Woohoo, doggy! That is amazing. What an animal. Again, the saltwater process, they jump out of the water like that. Thank you so much, Jim. That was absolutely incredible.
So you cover your bases. How about get them this direction?
This direction too? All right, we'll get him this way too now. All right, here we go. Come on, buddy. Come on. There he comes. You can see he's tilting up. When he tilts up, that means he's ready. And then he's going to come up in a second. There he goes. Oh! Whoo, doggy. Jim, that was amazing, man. It was actually, there's just something about those creatures.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
What I mean? It's like, there's nothing that jumps like a saltwater croc, you know? I mean,
he pushes off the bottom a little bit, then he gives a little push with his tail.
Yeah, just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for letting me do this. It just, it made my week. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. What an animal. I'm here with Jim, the curator of reptiles here, and so first off, we got a chance to feed the big salty, which is just absolutely amazing. But were you here when Gomek was around?
Absolutely. In fact, besides the owner of the facility, I'm the only one that had the pleasure of working with him, yeah.
And of course, Gomek was the largest saltwater crocodile in the country, right?
Yeah, in fact, early on when he first came here on this hemisphere, he was the biggest one.
Really?
And then a couple other crocs, especially a couple hybrids that get really big.
Right, yeah.
Ended up at a couple facilities.
Yeah, I think that Toledo now has a pretty big one as well.
Absolutely.
So, but Gomek was a legend. I mean, how long was he here for?
He came here in the late 80s and he died in 1997.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's just, if you think that Maximo is huge, Gomek is unbelievable. I mean, just amazing animals. And you've been here for how many years?
Going on 28.
28 years. I mean, that's amazing. Ironically enough, we were just kind of chit-chatting back to the old days of Ohio, Millersport, and all the reptile shows. So we have some kind of ties from way back when. So it was really cool to kind of reminisce. And of course, this is the famous Gomek. This is a real crocodile at one point in the 90s that passed away, but this is actually the true size at over 18 foot. I mean, that is a gigantic crocodile here. Of course, salty. And then we have actually some prehistoric skulls here. These are amazing. This was a 40-foot crocodile back in the prehistoric days. Could you imagine a crocodile this size? But Gomek is actually, I mean, I wish I could have met him because he would have been an absolutely amazing crocodile. That thing is a giant. The thing that's interesting about Gomek is that he was actually captured as an adult in New Guinea, and the village people said that Gomek actually ate several village people. I mean, and the idea of capturing something like that is really amazing. I mean, think that animal is here and potentially could have eaten villagers in New Guinea. I mean, it just shows you the power, the immense, unbelievable power of a crocodile that size. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to tangle with a Gomek out there, but wow, I tell you what, even Maximus is unbelievable. I mean, this place is so freaking cool. Komodo Dragons a little bit. When did you get them and how many do you have?
We got them in 2008.
Okay.
And currently there's just one female here. And it's kind of a mixed bag. You know, it's a small population in the U.S. and we're set up to have a pair and do some breeding and then be able to house some offspring. We've had this whole mixed bag of problems with Komodo dragons. We had a big male and we got sent another animal that the zoo assured us was a male. Kept pairing them up and they were fighting. I don't have a ton of experience pairing Komodo dragons, so I write to other zoos and send them videos and say, is this normal? Oh yeah, you're doing everything right, it's fine, keep going. We went back to look at an old MRI of the animal, and there we could see
the hemipenes?
the bones that are in there.
The bones, yeah.
And so it was like, okay, we've been trying all this time to pair these things up, and they're really just gonna fight no matter what.
You guys know that I'm going to talk about Komodo dragons. They actually have a female Komodo dragon here, and absolutely wonderful animals. I don't know how it's possible, but one day I promise you I'm going to have Komodo dragons, and I want to have an enclosure that's literally this size in the reptarium somehow. But no matter what I have to do, I'm going to somehow make this happen. But Komodo dragons are a dream of mine for sure, and that is an absolute ripper right there. And think about that. I mean, that's a decent sized female, but a male can get like 9 foot long. I mean, this is maybe 5.5, 6 foot long female. A 9 foot long male, that is an absolute dinosaur. So do you also get a chance to work with the Komodos? Being the curator, I'm assuming you do, yeah. So how do you feel about those? Because that's like my dream animal, that is.
I'll tell you what, I find Crocodilia a little more predictable.
Okay.
The thing with the dragons is that they'll go from 0 to 100 in feeding response. So the thing that we're real careful about is when we go in with, we have a young female right now, we have to make sure that we don't have any smells or odors on you.
Because they'll go after your feet.
Or sometimes somebody has white socks that get their attention.
They just don't like certain things. It's almost like it sounds like more like a cat. You know, like big cats are like that. They like one little thing they'll tee off on. So that's interesting.
In regards to that, there have been a number of keepers that have had bites from Komodo dragons at AZA facilities.
Yeah.
The problem is one bite from a Komodo dragon
different,
is a serious bite.
So it can be a very serious bite, So Jim, thank you so much for the opportunity to feed your beautiful saltwater crocodile, and just having us here. This place is amazing, so we're going to just keep on adventuring.
Good.
Thanks, Jim. I hope I see you soon. This, of course, is such an amazing bird, typically from the east coast to the northeast part of Australia. I've actually had the chance to see these guys in Australia. They're absolutely amazing. Certainly one of the most dangerous birds on the planet when it comes to their attitude. A male that's protective, you do not want to go in with. Of course, I have a tattoo of a cassowary on my arm, so I've always loved these guys. Absolutely amazing. I mean, these are as dinosaur-like as you'll ever get. Got a bunch of Galapagos Island tortoises here. There's actually a whole bunch. I don't know if the next pen in the back is maybe Aldabras. I can't see from here, but these guys are Galapagos Island, of course. These guys, that guy looks like he's a little bit tired. He's kind of look like Noah. I remember coming here before. This is a really cool area. Of course, you've got the swamp with all the alligators, but then you actually have a whole birding area over here, so it's like a little brookery. So when you come around this corner, you'll see all of the birds just kind of hanging out in the trees, and just a cool place to come take birding pictures. And I mean, a lot of people are into it. I think it's pretty cool. I need to learn more about birds. I was just telling Jay, the one thing that I'm really weak on is actually my birds. I don't really know birds well, so I have to start to studying, but this is absolutely a cool place. Again, tons of alligators on the side over here. I believe there's actually a couple crocodiles in this as well. And then you come around the corner here, and you see all the birds up in the trees. Look at that. That is awesome. That is, oh my God, this place is so cool. To give you guys an idea, you know Beetlejuice, the Bell's face lace monitor? Well, this is a normal face lace monitor. So this is how big Beetlejuice is actually gonna get. So like I've said, it's a pretty large lizard. You know, they're not as giant as Komodos or even water monitors for that matter, but they certainly are still sizable. And this looks like a nice female, just kind of giving us a little show right now running around. You have every species of croc, right?
Scientifically, that's hard to keep up with.
Right, because they're always changing.
So we have 24 species.
Right.
And I would say technically, scientifically, there's probably 26 species on the planet right now. And there will be more as these,
as they break
as these splitters split things up a little bit. I'm more of a lumper. I prefer, I prefer a Lafe with still a Lafe.
Oh yeah, instead of Pantheropus, yeah, exactly.
So that's just the old school guy in me. But 24 species, it's the only place in the world you could see all 24 of those here. The other two is when they divided the African slender-snouted croc.
Right, yeah.
And no one in the U.S. has one of those specimens. They just split up New Guinea crocodiles.
Oh, okay.
And we actually have, because of how the range fell, we actually have the newer one that's named,
okay.
but we don't have the older one. And I don't know that anyone in the U.S. would have that either.
Gotcha. And like John said, it's really cool that this is the only place you can go to see the majority of the crocodile species. This happens to be a critically endangered Orinoco crocodile. Again, they're one of several species that have that kind of really slender snout that, you know, typically are fish eaters, to be totally honest with you. But the Orinocos get absolutely massive. You can see this female Orinoco right now creeping on this bird right here, but it's like just slowly kind of creeping up, and it's even tucking its back legs a little bit like it wants to explode out of the water. But the truth is that bird ain't gonna let that happen. I guarantee you that. See, it's completely aware, and if it does explode out, I'm sure the bird will be gone. But it's pretty cool to actually see their natural prey kind of instinct kick in like that. Cool little area here that actually has a bunch of alligators, but also has like Siamese croc, smooth-throated caiman, and a couple other species that can live together, New Guinea crocodiles. So pretty interesting to have a place like this. And that's one of the things that's nice about being in Florida, obviously, is the outdoor, right? You can have these animals out there. It's the only thing that I really don't like about being up in Michigan, but listen, I can come down here and visit. Maybe I can't have 20 alligators and crocodiles in a pen, but hey, I can still build something big enough for Salt and Pepper and RJ, can I? Look at the little baby West African crocodiles here. Now, interestingly enough, these guys used to just be considered the same species as Nile. Remember when John was talking about how they've split species up? There used to be 23 species, now there's like 26 species. This is one of the species that split not too long ago, within the last 10 years or so. So these used to just be Nile crocodiles, now they're actually West African crocodiles, which is pretty dope, and they are so adorable. Got a pretty decent sized broad-snouted caiman over here. These guys are actually a pretty decent sized caiman. Males can get up to 6 foot or something like that. We actually saw one of the little babies over at Chandler's Wildlife a couple days ago. This is how big they actually get, and of course these are from East Africa, kind of all the way that Kenya, Tanzania area, all the way north of there. So definitely a cool animal, and again, just awesome to see all these species in one place. And of course, the most insane crocodile of all, the Indian gharial. Again, these guys you don't see hardly in them. Only a couple facilities in the entire country have actual true gharials. There's actually false gharials as well, but the true gharials are these ones right here. They come from India, and they are unbelievable. That long snout is really just used for catching fish, and some of these absolutely look crazy. Look at the teeth on this one over here. Oh my goodness. You can just see, man, they're just, so, you know, even though they're not man-eaters, and they're certainly not really even meat-eaters other than fish typically, you would not want to get bit by something like that. Those teeth are unbelievable, but still one of the coolest crocodiles on the planet. For all the people that mess with me about not doing zip lines and that I don't like doing, that's the reason why I don't do zip lines. Get stuck in the middle, and then you die up there. I'm sure that's what happens. And then like John had said about the Indian gharials, that they were the first ones to breed them here. This is one of the babies, right, that they had. So how incredible is that? Looks like maybe a 1 to 2 year old right there, but that is absolutely incredible to see a little tiny gharial. How awesome is that? Then of course you've got the Chinese alligators, an interesting animal that is from China, obviously, Chinese alligators, but they're a very small alligator. I mean, they kind of look similar to an American alligator, but just like the Chihuahua of the American alligator. Again, not a lot of these guys in the country, and definitely a heavily endangered animal. It's so cool to see stuff like this, and even though we got a chance to get a little behind the scenes and talk with the curators and stuff like that, and the director of the St. Augustine Gator Farm, the fact is it's kind of cool just to be a patron, walking around seeing these animals and really enjoying it. I mean, this is a nice mellow day after the hectic schedule we've had, so to be able to just kind of do the zoo thing has been awesome. And of course the Johnston eye, or the freshwater crocodiles from Australia, are another animal that has that long slender snout. So it's interesting how many species have that long slender snout that are fish eaters, and that's just an adaptation in order to really catch fish efficiently. Say that 3 times because that's a little bit difficult. And yet again, another crocodile with a slender snout, but these are actually called slender snouted crocodiles. Interestingly enough, what happens here at St. Augustine Gator Farm is that sometimes they'll leave yearlings and even 2-year-olds in with the parents, which I find interesting. It's really cool that they're able to let them naturally lay their eggs, hatch them in here, and then just let them kind of incorporate into the exhibit without taking them apart, because most places will separate them out. So I think it's a really cool thing to see the younger ones right along with the adults. Right here we actually have a black cane caiman. Now, it doesn't really look like what you'd think of a normal caiman, right? Because it almost looks more like an alligator. But the truth is it's the largest species of all the caiman, so they can get really, really large. Most caiman say much smaller than that, but that's a big old caiman right there. And again, the largest species. I love haunted stuff, so I know you guys are across from probably the most haunted lighthouse.
Yeah, that's what they say. They certainly.
Have you been?
I've been in it many times,
Okay.
but in the daytime.
In the daytime, never at night. Huh?
If you climb the lighthouse, you can look back and see our property pretty well. In fact, we used to use it to help count some of the rookery birds that were on some of the bigger trees that we couldn't see from the ground.
Right.
If you watch a lot of the ghost shows,
Yeah.
you'll watch 20, 30 shows before you see anything and go, oh yeah, that might have been something.
That might have been
And this place, those images look like something.
They
There's something
really,
creepy in it.
they absolutely do. There's no doubt about that. And here it is, the St. Augustine Lighthouse, what's said to be the most haunted lighthouse in the country. So what do you say we go in and check it out? And if you ever watched Ghost Hunters, right up here is where they actually saw a ghost peeking over one of the rails. They say at night you can hear this bucket rattling in here. 43 steps, 176 to go. 176 to go.
So we haven't done much this trip. We can do another 176.
Let's go. Hey Jay,
Yeah.
you seen any ghosts yet?
Maybe my spirit leaving because we're tired.
We're tired of top. It's warm in here. No spirits. I would love to come here at night though.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, so it's so cool to be here, even if we didn't see ghosts. Maybe they're all around us. Tell us in the comments if you've seen any ghosts.
Ooh,
in the
some
footage.
orbs? Ooh, be careful and let us know down in the comments.
John, thank you again for letting us come out here. Thank you for just letting us see the place. I can't wait to just continue to explore and stuff like that. So,
Sure.
you know, again, guys, if you're ever in the St. Augustine area, please do me a favor, go visit them. I'll put all the links to their stuff down in the description. It's an amazing place. So thank you so much, John.
That's
Appreciate
great.
it. Had an absolutely amazing time here at St. Augustine Alligator Farm. Like I said, go pay these guys a visit. It is definitely worth the trip for sure. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and I hope that you're enjoying all the adventure that we're on. Only a couple days left before we head back home. If you do enjoy this video, right here is a playlist. You can watch a couple more if you don't mind. Also, do me a favor, hit that subscription button right over here. It helps me keep going. I appreciate you guys. Have an absolutely wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.